guys and dolls, welcome back to my channel, and I wanted to come to you and talk to you a little bit about something pretty dark. Me and my brother and my boyfriend, we recently went on a little road trip because we are a tiny bit of urban explorers and we really love to see kind of off-beaten path. I have this huge vision in my head of seeing every place in the Weird America book. So this was one of the ones that I really wanted to go to, and that is Raymer's Hollow, or Hex Hollow, in Pelham, Pennsylvania, right outside of Lancaster. So let's get right into it and learn some creepy history. So the Pennsylvania Dutch have always been very religious and steadfast on their beliefs. In November 27th of 1928, after believing they had been hexed by Nelson Raymer, 3 men trespassed onto his property and broke into his home and did something that would shock the entire community and pretty much send shockwaves through the whole entire country. This was a huge, everybody knew about it when it happened because it was so unbelievable. Let's go back for a second and talk about how this all came about. John Blymer, a native of Pelham, where this took place, had been through a rough couple of years. It was believed that not only had he been going through illnesses for a really long time, but also his cattle on his ranch had been dying and they'd been getting sick, and he hadn't been able to produce any offspring from his cattle, so he believed that he had been cursed. At this time, people in the area had been practicing powwow, which is a religious branch, I believe, of witchcraft that at the time had been meshing both Christianity and European folklore. And they believed that you could put a curse on people in order to kill off their livelihood and eventually the people themselves. And seeking help, some sources say that John Blymer went to a practitioner of powwow known as Nellie Knoll, or the Marietta River Witch. When he went to her, she did acknowledge that he did have a curse on him and that Raymer was the one that put the curse on him. And honestly, that could be brought up from just dirty looks to if something was said incorrectly to him. And honestly, there didn't have to be any proof back then for witchcraft. If you just looked at someone the wrong way, or if you were prospering more than another person, you could be accused of witchcraft. Upon talking to him, she advised him that she did believe that he had been cursed by Raymer, and the only way to lift the curse was to find his Bible or his powwow, like the lost friend. That's what the book was called, the long lost friend, or the powwow Bible, and to burn it, and also to bury a lock of Raymer's hair 6 feet in the ground. So on the night of November 27th, 1928, when Blymer and 2 unnamed accomplices broke into Raymer's house, they bludgeoned him and they strangled him to death. Now, there was a fight. There were defensive wounds on his body. He did try to protect himself, but unfortunately, he was overcome by the other 2 men, tearing his whole home apart. They could not find his copy of Powwow, the Lost Friend, and they were getting very frustrated. And once they found out that they could not find it after tearing his home apart, they had to cover up a murder. Once they realized that this was an innocent man and they had actually murdered somebody, they tried to cover up their tracks. They tied him to a chair in his living room, a wooden chair, and they tried to burn the house down and get rid of all the evidence. Unfortunately, the house refused to burn. Some people say that this is evidence of witchcraft, that the house had an enchantment on it so that it would not burn. You'll see in the pictures that There is a good bit of stone on the house, but most of the house itself is made of wood, so it would have burned. A part of it had caught on fire. They ran and hid, but the men were eventually convicted of murder. People began not to trust each other, and this led to a lot of other so-called witches being hung, and also a lot of other people dying. Now, these 3 men did end up getting hung, and they became known as the York Hex Slayers. The house was mostly still intact, and there was enough of his body left to prove that this was Nelson Raymer, and that he was convicted, along with Nellie Knoll, who helped to convict the 3 men. To this day, the house still stands. It is actually a really, really cool house, but as you'll see in the videos driving up the road, it is a very narrow road. It is very creepy, and when we went, it was completely covered in snow, so you couldn't really see it until you were right on the house. It is now a museum. At the time that we went, we could not tour the museum itself. There were no trespassing signs up on all of the doors and the windows. I don't know what that was about, because it does say that the museum is still open on its website on Google, which I will link below, as well as all the other sites that I used to give you this information. It's sort of a surreal type of thing, because like when you look at it, you never expect something to be like that. Some other areas, some other places in that area is that there is a pond on property. I actually talked to a local woman. I didn't get any film of that. I feel so frustrated after it happened. I wish I would have done it. We stopped and got gas, and I talked to someone in Hellam, a manager of a store, and she said if you walk around the pond 3 times backwards and chant something, a witch is supposed to come out of the woods. Also, there is a part of a road there that if you sit and put your car in neutral, hands will push you up the road. Inside of the museum itself, there are a bunch of relics from when Nelson Raymer lived there. And also there is a window in the floor, and there's a chair over top of it. You can still see the burned remains of the chair in the basement, and also there is a hole in the floor where the chair fell through with his body. Seeing those pictures are really surreal, and I think that if you are up in the Hellam area outside of Lancaster, closer to York, it is something that, if it is still open, that you should see. Check out all the links below, and we will get right into now showing you film and video. I don't have a lot of it, but film and video of on our way there and the house itself.
That should be your clickbait, your video.
What?
Just like show a bunch of clips and then be like stuck in Hex Hollow, and then just be like a story time and just make up a bunch of shit.
This is so creepy.
Winter Wonderland. This is what horror movies are about.
Of death. Oh, good. Posted. Private property. Oh.
That just means we're going the right way.
That one.
Oh, this is...
Bridge closed.
Oh, this is sketchy.
Oh my god, wait.
Arrived.
Oh my god.
Alright, here we are.
Oh my god. Oh, there it is. Oh.
Where?
Oh, it's right here. No, wait, is that it? No, that's not it.
Oh, that's definitely it.
No, it's not.
Yeah, that definitely looks like 200 years old.
That's it.
Oh my god. Holy crap. Yeah, that's it. Wow.
The red one, not the brown one.
No, definitely the brown one.
Pictures, and then we gotta leave.
Anyways, guys, thanks so much for watching. I am sorry it came out so late, but I really appreciate you tuning in. I had a lot of fun with this, and this was one of my bucket list things. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did, and what do you think about this? Do you think that he was justified in order to go in and take care of business on his own? Blymer, I'm assuming, wanted to take care of business on his own instead of going to authorities. What do you think? Do you think he was justified? Do you think that it's ever justified to take matters into your own hands? Leave your comments down in the description box below, and I will see you